Mm.
All right, so we're going to start the episode, you guys. I appreciate everybody for joining, and we're going to discuss Father's Day and why Father's
Oh.
Day is disrespected so often, and we're going to discuss Juneteenth and just kind of give a brief history of Juneteenth. I know this is only the second or third year that we are celebrating
Third.
June. The
Or
third year that we are celebrating
Since
June
2021.
Juneteenth in the United States. And I do want to discuss it. And I recognize that we may not all know all of the details because I'm still learning about Juneteenth. So let me
Mm-hmm.
do the intro, and I'll bring everybody back up, and we'll discuss. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Where's my music? Hey, there it is. What's up, lifers? It's Dave Life. This is Dave Life, and you're watching Dave Life After Dark. Uh-oh. I'm glad I'm editing this. What's up, lifers? It's Dave Life. It's Dave Life. You're watching Dave Life After Dark, episode number 261. Dave Life After Dark, episode number 261. We're going to get into Father's Day and Juneteenth. Father's Day and Juneteenth holidays. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us tonight, man. So I want to say thank you, and I appreciate everyone for joining us. Let's start this off like we always do, man. The right way. Heavenly Father, have your way, Lord. I pray that you would speak to your people, enlighten, entertain, and inform us, Lord. I pray less of me and more of you. Forgive us of all of our sins that we've committed by commission and omission, Lord. Be with us. Speak through me and speak through everybody else. Let us have a wonderful conversation and teach us something. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. All right, y'all. We're going to discuss Father's Day, and we're going to discuss Father's Day. We're going to discuss Juneteenth. This comes off of the heels of episode 260, where we talked about exes or friends. So let me bring a few people up to the stage so we can get right into the conversation. No long introductions. I'm bringing up my home boy, Big Corey G. I'm bringing up Video Lady Yvette. I'm bringing up Michelle F. And I'm bringing up, if he can drive safely, my homeboy Sherrod. Welcome everybody to the stage. What's up, y'all?
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
What's up, Rod?
what's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm sorry, I'm driving.
Yeah. Hey,
Alright.
be safe. So
Be
look,
careful.
so you don't have to touch the phone. I'll mute you and I'll unmute you. You just be safe driving, okay?
Appreciate
My
it.
man. All right, cool. All right. So look, so everybody, Sharaj's driving. He's going to be safe. Corey, we only have about an hour and a half to get into it. So you had brought up the other day, Father's Day, and you said that Father's Day was a disrespected holiday. So I want you to kind of give us all a breakdown on why you say Father's Day is a disrespected holiday, Corey.
Uh, well, I just, like you said, we don't have an hour. Any other, you know, topic you do, it used to take 2 hours. But I feel like it'll be like 15 minutes because Father's Day, that's how much disrespect it is.
You
Wow.
already starting off firing shots.
Wow.
You're adding me. I'm part of the problem. I'm not giving Father's Day enough time. You right, Corey. We should give Father's Day. If it was Mother's Day, it would have a full 2-hour episode, right?
Oh, yes, exactly. So all I'm
You make
saying
a great point.
Mm.
we just are a second thought, man. It's been like this for years. Bill Cosby talked about it. The fathers get that tie, the soap on the rope, and all this stuff. I just remember this time, man. Then I became a father. It was like, all right, great. It's Father's Day. Kid, come get your boy. What? It's Father's Day.
Right.
So Dad.
So what is Father's Day
You another
supposed to
scoop
be?
on the rope.
What is Father's Day supposed to be to you, Corey? Is it supposed to be a chill day? Is it supposed to be a gift or a present day? Or is it more like you do get the kids and everybody comes and hangs with you if the parents are divorced? What is this supposed to be like for you?
It's according to how the father is. Like I'm a chill guy. The only thing I want is like with my son. When he was a kid, yeah, I spent time with him. But now he's a adult. Just give me my son. He'll probably give me a hug and dap me up. I'm good with that. And then leave me alone. And then my mom will call me. She'll try to do extra stuff. I'm like, Mama, I'm not your daddy. I understand you miss your dad. I'm not your dad. Mama, just give me a card. I'm good with that. You don't have to do a lot of stuff. But the thing I would like is just appreciation. Hey, call me and say Happy Father's Day.
Okay.
Send me a card. You don't have
Yeah.
to give me gifts. Just acknowledge that I am here, that I am a dad, that I am doing what I'm supposed to do. That's it.
Acknowledgement. Okay.
Acknowledge.
I, I think that's the part that I wanna put in the comments. Acknowledgement. Okay. What does Father's Day Sherrod, are you there? I know you're driving. Go to the men first, ladies. If you're there, Sherrod, and if you hear me, come on back.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, come on back with the visuals if you can. Be careful driving. What does Father's Day mean to you? What should it be like for you?
So Father's Day is not one day. It's every day of the year. Men only really get recognized on one day, and that's Father's Day. And to be honest with you, they really don't get recognized on that day because we feel the need to acknowledge women for everything that they think they've done like a father on our day. More pressed than we do. Most men only want one thing. They only want some head and a steak. That's it.
Yeah.
Complicated getting
Yeah.
In that order?
In that order.
Hey man,
Oh man.
Wow.
Dave, you on mute.
Father's Day
My bad.
Father's Day comes around. Hey man, what you want for Father's Day? I literally told you I wanted a steak and some head. That's all I want.
So, look,
Hey,
for
like,
those that don't know, you're watching After Dark episode 261.
yeah,
We're
it's
talking
after
about
dark.
Father's Day and Juneteenth. And the honorable brother
Morning
Sherrod,
head. Yeah.
the honorable brother Sherrod has made a point.
Man, listen, we want the same shit we want every day of the week. It never changes.
Never
It never
changes.
changes. No.
Maybe different position. Maybe different position.
In
Possibly.
different positions.
No.
No. That causes
I say
cramps.
what you want. Correct. Because see, women start early in the morning. Man, my stomach hurts on Father's Day. Your stomach is hurting
On
on Father's
Father's Day.
It's
Your stomach
7
hurt,
o'clock
right. Your
in the
period
morning.
started on Father's Day. Right.
On Father's Day? We want the same shit all the time. You know why why do you think we want the same shit all the time? We
Because
never
we don't
get the
normally get
same
it.
shit
Yeah, we
all
don't
the
get it.
time.
We get it.
All
Right.
the
There's
time.
always a reason. Hold on. So let me say this. So Sherrod makes a great point. He says that on Father's Day, fathers typically want steak and a BJ. But I'd like to say something. There is a holiday for that. Okay? It is.
Really?
February 14th is Valentine's Day. March 13th is steak and a BJ day. Look it up.
Oh, yeah. No,
Look
that's
it
not
up.
what
It's just on the calendar.
women.
That's not for us.
That is for
Yeah,
us.
that's
Steak
not.
and a BJ.
That's not.
That's for us.
Okay, so ladies, let me ask y'all a question. Have any one of y'all said, you know what, it's March 13th? Y'all,
I have no idea.
I'm not in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship. So
okay, I'm
not.
sorry. You've
Right.
been in a relationship in the past, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we got that established. Have you ever said, hey, man, it's March 13th?
No.
No.
Cool. So let me ask you this. Have you ever gave a BJ and a steak on Father's Day in your relationships in the past?
And
And
I'm
if you got
thinking,
and if you got to think about it,
not a
that means
steak.
no.
Yeah,
That means
not
No.
a steak, but you got anything you wanted. Because I'm not one to withhold from my man. That's not something I do. It's whatever he wants,
okay.
he gets. As
So
long
maybe
as
this
it's
is the
me.
more
He should have
important
spoke
question.
up. He should have spoke up then.
Have you
Yeah.
ever been asked for a BJ on Father's Day?
You don't have to ask.
Exactly. No, see, exactly. That's my whole.
You don't have to ask.
Yvette, that was your best answer in all 260 episodes.
Yes. No.
The thing is that,
She had
hey,
to give it
David, there's penis involved.
Right, that's right. Our
Right.
favorite subject.
Oh,
Our favorite subject is penis.
That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, Yvette.
I mean-
Yvette. Listen, Shirai will say, the Mona Lisa was created. She would say, and he drew it when his penis was out. We were like, Yvette, where you just brought that up? First of all, is it
Hey, real talk.
Wait,
Real
that-
talk. In a couple of months,
today.
in a couple of months, that joke is gonna be real funny in a couple of months, man. Y'all stay tuned. Seriously,
Right.
that joke
Right.
means a lot because me and my
Right.
family were doing something, and that joke, I was like, "What the fuck? What?" That's good. So at the end of the day, that's all men want: a steak and a BJ. We can't get that shit on Father's Day.
But you know what else? Corey made a good point. We want to be left alone. We don't want no responsibilities.
We do.
Just let it. Because look, because real talk. Let us watch our baseball game. Let us watch, whatever movie we want to watch. Hey, I don't want to clean up nothing. Don't ask me to do no chores. You know what I mean? And then the other thing, like Shirai said, a steak, a BJ, and probably our favorite drink. And if we smoke cigars, give me our favorite, way to relax.
Right.
That's really all we want on Father's Day. We just appreciation, Corey. You said the best thing. Appreciation. Corey, can you adjust your camera though? Because you're
We see the
trailer is
Yeah,
coming up. There you go.
There we
Ooh,
go.
all right.
Disappearing.
Hey.
Oh,
there you go.
yay.
There you go, Corey.
Like Beetlejuice, little head. Beetlejuice.
Oh, you cool. You cool.
Because of
All
the
right.
green.
Oh yeah, he's the Incredible Hulk tonight. Corey been the Incredible Hulk for the last 2 days.
You
Who
gonna
else,
like
James?
me when I'm angry.
All right, so Father's Day. Does anyone know the history of Father's Day and how it started?
Hmm.
Y'all ever look it up?
Which was first, Father's Day or
No.
Mother's Day?
But I can prove something actually about
Go ahead.
Father's Day. I got to show you guys because I was sending a friend of mine the Happy Father's Day gift that I usually do. And then I went, I don't know if you can see, it says happy. There's no
and
Father's Day
Mother's-
there. Hang on.
Even there? Wait, put it back.
Wait, because then I started typing the F. Friday, face.
Remove the F because I want the people to see what you have first. So look,
Well, it
she
was
typed
happy.
It says Mother's Day, birthday,
Mother's Day.
Easter, birthday funny, dance, happy
Friday.
dance, Friday.
Yeah. And then once I
No
start typing the F for
Father's
father,
Day.
then it's just all Friday
All
and
Friday
face.
and happy face. So put an
Yep.
A. What comes next? It's gonna say happy face.
It's gonna say happy face, family,
Happy
and then
the
fathers.
last. Ain't this a damn?
Wow.
We just don't get no respect.
Yeah,
we
you
just
know
at the bottom of the list.
Hey, guess what Father's Day ranks at all holidays? Guess when they
You
rank?
said like 20,
Number
right?
20?
Yeah.
22. Guess what's
20,
number
yeah,
1 and
22.
2? Guess what's number 1 and 2?
Mother's Day and Christmas.
What's that? Christmas?
Mother's Day and Christmas.
No. You gotta love God before you can love your mama. Guess what's 1
Christmas
and
and
2?
Mother's Day. Yeah.
Easter.
Yep. Guess what's Father's
And your
Day?
mama.
Guess what Father
He's
at?
20.
22. So you're
22.
telling me there's approximately 20-something holidays before Father's Day. That means Easter. That means Columbus Day.
Halloween is number 5.
No,
Yeah.
Halloween. You know why? Because people love getting crazy.
Yeah, and sugar and candy. Look,
Sugar and candy.
sugar is crack for kids. So that's a way to give our kids some alcohol or
You're
some that's drugs. Hold on, let me read
Right.
this right quick before. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got something, Yvette?
No, go ahead. No, go because I was gonna say I read when Father's Day came about.
No,
Go ahead.
please drop it in. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay. It said, in 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson made the first presidential proclamation that honored fathers, designating the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. So that's when it's supposed to be, thrown in as a national holiday.
And that was Lyndon who?
Lyndon B. Johnson,
In what
Lyndon
year?
B. Johnson,
1966.
1966.
Okay, so when I
So that was
looked this
after
up,
Kennedy.
It was a re-election. It was a re-election. He was getting ready because
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
JFK died
JFK
in
was just shot.
63. Right, and the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 was signed. Then they signed the Welfare Reform Act, right as the left hand to that, because niggas can vote for us for the next 100 years. And then in '66 it was an election year, so he was campaigning. That's all that was. It's all
Hold on.
politics and money. Come on, y'all. I'm giving y'all guys.
I gotta do this because we didn't do this last episode. Michelle, I hope you're not uncomfortable with our colloquial use of the N-word.
I don't care. No, you can.
Okay.
You can call me Beaner anytime. Don't worry. It's okay.
No. Listen,
No,
man.
we will not.
We're gonna do that.
And I want to specify to the people on the last episode, we're using a soft AH, not a hard ER. There is a difference.
Please.
Okay. And on Juneteenth, maybe that's something we could talk about, is the difference. Okay. So let's get into that second, but let me finish the Father's Day thing. So I'm reading something, you guys, on Wikipedia, and it says that Father's Day was first proposed by Sonora Smart Dodd of Spokane, Washington in 1909. All right. It is currently celebrated the third Sunday in June. It says that she was okay. Father's Day was founded in Spokane, Washington at the YMCA in 1910 by Sonora Smart Dodd, who was born in Arkansas. Its first celebration was June 19th, 1910. Her father, a Civil War veteran, William Jackson Smart, was a single parent who raised his 6 children. After hearing a sermon about Anna Jarvis's Mother's Day at Central Methodist Episcopal Church in 1909, she told her pastor that fathers should have a similar day honoring them. Although she initially suggested June 5th, her father's birthday, the pastors of the Spokane Ministerial Alliance did not have enough time to prepare their sermons, and so the celebration was deferred until the third Sunday. So basically, a woman whose father was a single dad heard a Mother's Day sermon and said, we should do something for fathers. And the ministers in her area agreed and said, let's do it. And it ended up being the third Sunday because they couldn't prepare in time for June 5th. So originally it was supposed to be June 5th. But now it's third Sunday. Ain't that interesting?
Here's another joke. They still didn't have time for us. You had to wait. From the onset, Corey, the holiday, they didn't have time for the fathers. They had this, we're going to have to postpone that because we ain't got time yet. You know, can I say something? You know why the ministers didn't have time to prepare a sermon? I think it's 2 reasons. One, men don't care that much about acknowledgement. We do, but I feel like we put ourselves last. We say, hey, women and children first, feed the family, protect everybody good, everybody straight. Okay. All right, now y'all leave me alone. Let me sit at this campfire and have me a steak and baby when I come to bed, just that's all we want. Help a brother out. That's all we help a brother out. That's all we want. Yo, I wish I would. Listen, I wish I would get married and be like, hey, baby, help a brother out. Help a brother out. Jesus Christ. We on the bottom of the barrel, Corey. But so they couldn't prepare their sermons in time. So you're right, Corey. Timing, whatever they were doing, they said, hey, look, let's do this the right way. Let's postpone it, and it ended up being the third Sunday in June. So, man, for me, Father's Day is special. Corey, I had a great relationship with my father. Believe it or not, y'all, my father passed a week after Father's Day. So my father passed a week after Father's Day about 7 years ago. So for me, Father's Day is even more like, man, because I know that, he was transitioning around that time period. But, fathers aren't perfect. I said this on my Instagram on Father's Day. Fathers aren't perfect.
Fathers make mistakes. Some of us are absentee fathers. Some of us are not around. Some of us are not good husbands and not good fathers. Some of us are good fathers. We're not good husbands. Some of us are good husbands. We're horrible dads. So it's hard sometimes for some of us to get it right. But, they say when you lose your father, you lose half of you. And when you lose your mother, you lose all of you. So I do think that fathers are important. And although they're not always around or they're not always the best, especially in the Black community, I'll say for us, we got to do better, right? I'll just say, man, if you do have a chance to have a relationship with your father in any aspect, I say do it, because you're only going to learn more about yourself, and you're only going to learn more about your decisions and your thought process. And you might learn about some of your good parts. You might learn about some of your bad parts, but you're going to learn something. So I would say never neglect your father, never neglect your relationship with your father. And even like people like Shaquille O'Neal, who was raised by his stepdad. And I think somebody said that in the last episode, that fathers are more than just your biological. You have stepfathers, you have foster fathers, you have
You got
uncle
uncles.
fathers, you
Yeah.
got coaches that are father figures, you have big brothers that are father figures at some points. And we also do know that there are some women that have to play both mother and father. And the reason I don't want to really get into that part of it is because we have Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? We have Mother's Day. So I feel like moms, even though moms have to take on both roles at times, we just heard that Father's Day was created for a dad that had to take on both roles. He was a single dad with 6 kids.
Exactly.
You don't get no single dadder than that with 6 kids. So I find it amazing that the holiday was created for a single father. And I find it amazing that it had to be postponed before they could really celebrate it. Like Corey said, it was put on the back burner for other stuff. So, all right, Michelle.
The disrespect.
The disrespect. Is there any cultural specifics for Father's Day in Latino culture or Mexican culture?
Okay, so it's a bit different. I think this year coincided because we don't do it on the third Sunday or second Sunday, whatever that is here.
Okay, right.
I believe it's either June 15th. What was it on Sunday? It was Father's Day on Sunday. Well, what was it? Because it coincided.
I'm looking.
June 16th.
16th. I think it's the 16th or 15th in Mexico, and
So
it doesn't matter what day it is. It's not on a Sunday. Same with Mother's Day. Yeah, and it's the same thing as Mother's Day. It's only focused on the dad, and it's mostly focused on the dad going out with his buddies, watching the soccer game, or having the big barbecue carne asada thing, family all around. So it doesn't differ from the American one, actually. Doesn't differ that much in terms of how it's celebrated. It's just the day.
So the day differs, but the concept is the same. Basically allow the men to be men, let the fathers go be men, whatever that is. And typically it involves fire, it involves meat, it involves alcohol, and
or maybe a trip to the local hardware store, like you would go to Home Depot and get him some tools.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna break it down. Testosterone, adrenaline, meat, which
and penis.
Pause. Father's Day is not about. Listen, Father's Day is for y'all. It's about penis. For us, it's about what you're gonna do with us.
Well, you're the one with the penis.
That's Yvette. Okay, but look. In other words, on Father's Day, on Father's Day. Here's the thing: you're gonna get with your boys. You gonna talk about, like I said, you're gonna have some. Let's get on the grill. That's the fire and the meat. Pause. We're gonna have some alcohol or some smokes, tobacco, whatever, something to help you relax, whatever that is that you do, right? Then it's probably gonna be some pool, like shooting pool, or some sort of testosterone or adrenaline. Maybe they play a little football, maybe they run a little, have a couple leg races, whatever it is, it's adrenaline and testosterone involved. And then at the end of the day, we need our women to come bring that estrogen, that whatever. We need her to bring it. And we don't need to ask.
Help a brother out.
Help a brother out. That's
I'm
the
gonna print that on a
phrase.
T-shirt.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna print that on a T-shirt.
Happy Father's Day. Help a
We
brother
need a
out.
merch store. We need a merch store with all the sayings.
We
Come
do.
on, Dave.
We do. I'm moving in on that. Yes, I'm moving
Yeah.
on that.
I said, put that on a
Father's
T-shirt.
Day. Help a
Yeah.
brother out.
And
Man.
I mean, I wouldn't know. Juan is not a dad, so we don't really.
Yeah, I feel you. So, wait a minute. So, yeah. So, I guess y'all didn't celebrate Mom's Day either, right? So,
We don't celebrate mothers. We don't celebrate fathers. We don't really talk to our families.
Yvette, you have
So
children, correct?
I do.
Okay. So, real quick, just on the Mother's Day tip, you're not a mom, Michelle. Okay. I'm a foster uncle dad. I'm not a biological dad, but I'm a foster uncle dad. Yvette and Corey, you both are biological mothers and fathers. Yvette, do you want people to say Happy Mother's Day to you that aren't your children? Like, I don't know, let's say your boyfriend, because you have children. Hey, happy Mother's Day, Yvette. Let's say your ex-man, the father of your children. Do you want him to call? Let's say on the podcast, it's Mother's Day. Hey, happy Mother's Day to Yvette and all the moms out there. Do y'all like that, even though it's not your child saying it?
I mean, I don't mind because I think people have just been programmed to say and do that and follow along with the culture, so it's okay. However, only two people that really need to say it are my children, because, I, you know, as a matter of fact, I really think birthdays and all that stuff is backwards, and I say that because we celebrate the child, but you ain't give the birth. That should be Mama's Day. Your birthday should be Mama's
Jesus.
Day because she was laying down,
Woo!
pushing you out.
Hold
That's what
on,
I think.
Yvette.
They got that
Wait a
backwards.
minute. So if your mother had 8 children, she would have 8 different Mother's Days.
Absolutely, because that's we ain't do nothing but enter the
Hold
world.
on,
Hello, world, here I am.
hold on, Yvette. Hold on, Yvette. So then, is the Child's Day the day the penis was dropped off?
Come on now.
Hey, Ma, I got a question. When did you and Dad conceive me? You know, son, me and your father got together 9 months before your birthday. So, hey, I'm born in November. I'm a Valentine's Day baby. I'm 9 months. I'm November. I'm not gonna say the date, but I'm early November. So that's 9 months from February 14th. So I'm a valid. There you go. Somebody know they talking.
My
You talking
mama,
about
my
that?
mama, my
No,
mama.
you know.
See, you talking about mamas.
No, that ain't your mama. We know who that is. Yes. Oh, that's mama. Okay.
Aw.
Okay, that's mama. Okay. I thought it was
I gotta
penis.
talk to mama. Put me on
I thought it was
the
penis.
thingy thing.
Sorry. Okay, I took you down. Okay. I had to put her in the green room so she could talk to her mom. Okay, so do you have any cats or dogs, Michelle? Any animals
Yeah.
like pets?
Yeah, and see,
Alright.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
dogs,
Juan
right?
does give me sometimes like, oh, it's from the cats. They love you. You're a good mother. And then I didn't do anything for him. Now you're gonna have to rub it.
Right?
Eh.
Oh, okay. Hey, help a brother out.
I will.
Help
That's
a
all you
brother
gotta
out.
do. That's all you gotta do is help a brother out.
I'm just glad he's not listening to this because then he's gonna hold me accountable. He's gonna hold me
Okay,
down
right.
to it.
Oh, he's gonna say,
Sheesh.
"Oh, you agreed. You agreed."
That's right. You agreed
Oh
to help a
man,
brother out.
we're gonna have to have that a t-shirt. HABO, help a brother out, or just HBO, help a
Brother
brother
out.
out. Man, you know what? So I was gonna
Man.
HBO. I was gonna say that. So like
HBO.
sometimes if you're a cat mom or cat dad, sometimes people like to, oh, happy Mother's Day, happy Father's Day. For me, look, me having my nephews be my foster children for 3 to 4 years of their life at a pivotal moment. I always tell them, I'm like, hey man, I'm not your dad, I'm your uncle. I'm like, but y'all better call me on Father's Day because I at least want to hear some appreciation. Because Corey, this is a situation. If they run into financial difficulty, hey, Uncle David. All right.
Exactly.
So, hey,
Yeah,
Uncle David,
they're
you
gonna
okay?
go to
So,
you.
yeah, you calling for provision? Cool, I got you. Call me on Father's Day. Say something to the old man. Hey, we appreciate you, Uncle David. Everything you did when you didn't have to. That's it, man. That's all we be wanting. Hey, man. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, nephew. Appreciate that. I appreciate you. That's it.
Dave, it's the funniest thing. Your godson is so funny because I know him. He's my child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
he had to work late. He woke up around 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dad, man, happy Father's Day. And
Yep.
gave me a hug and kissed me on my head,
Yeah.
and then went on his way. That's
You
all I
went on to
needed.
work.
But
That's it. That's it. And
that's
this
it.
is the thing. And it's the thing. Just get to us before the sun go down. You know,
Exactly.
or get to us
Oh,
before
we go
the
down on you before the sun goes down.
I like that too. It's,
help a brother
We
out.
go down before
Before
the sun goes
brother
down.
out.
the sun goes down. There it is. I love it, man. I love it. You know what? I'm saving this. I'm playing this on Father's Day next year. This is the repeat. I'm just gonna play this episode. We didn't set it off.
Or go down with the sun.
Whatever it
Ooh.
takes.
Whatever works.
Oh,
Whatever it's her choice. Let her whatever the spirit moves her to do, as Yvette would say. Whatever the spirit moves. But no, I was like, yo, man, like, you know, when my nephews, when they didn't call me one year, I hit up the oldest one like the next day. Oh, Uncle David, man, yesterday was fun. I said, I don't want to hear it. Nope. I said, I don't want to hear it. I said, I'm your uncle 24/7. You could have said something on that day. And I said, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't understand why my mom, if we forgot something, you know, they would give us crap. I didn't get it. You ready, Yvette, to
right.
come back? Oh, I can't see. Yvette, you
There
on
you
the phone?
go.
She told me to go back on the podcast. She'll call me and told me to call when I'm done.
You didn't tell her what you were talking about, were you?
I can't because we got some other serious stuff going on.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope everything is okay. If you need to go, Yvette, go ahead and go.
Yeah.
If you need to go, let me know.
Let me handle this.
Okay.
You know,
Do that.
sometimes being the responsible one is just a heavy load.
Yvette, before you go, is there anything you would like to share about Juneteenth? Because we're at the halfway point. What do you know about Juneteenth, and how do you feel about the holiday being celebrated the last 3 years?
I'm happy that it's finally out there and getting the recognition that it should have, been given. Um, it definitely needs to be taught in all the schools because it hasn't been. That's why y'all can see in my eyes go because right now my station is actually doing a whole program on it. They're interviewing the ladies and they're showing cotton fields and they showed soy. So I really wanted to watch this, but I can go back and watch it later. Because it is something fairly new. But here's something that people don't realize, because how easily that happened. Because I remember being a little girl in New Jersey, and I used to read a lot. I lived in the library. I just loved my little books, and then I used to get these little Disney books that you order. My mother didn't know I had ordered them, but I would order them, and they had all this information in about Black history and stuff like that. Believe it or not, Disney. And I found out then that even as much as 1972, there was still places in Mississippi where Black people did not realize they were slaves. Now, I don't know if that was the same story then that I'm talking about now, but at that time there were still people I knew that was South. I thought it was Mississippi, and maybe it was Texas at the time, but in 72, and I didn't understand it. But I know that people in Mississippi still voted, and this is what people do all the time: vote against their best interest. Their oppressor they voted for because they didn't know any better. Because to them it was just, oh, I get to vote. So
yeah,
it's terrible when you don't know this history, and then when you meet with somebody who either just imported themselves from another country, or even just the whites that's right here that's oblivious, and even some of the Blacks that's oblivious to what take place here. But it's something that we all need to talk about and grasp an understanding of it, including especially us as Black, brown, colored people from every culture. And I include every culture because of the fact that it took me to an adult to even understand this fact. I didn't understand when they say when a Haitian or the Africans or the Jamaicans come to America, they think that they were better. And they couldn't understand why we were the way we were as American Blacks. And then I started realizing why. They're raised and growing up in a country, in a state where, a country where everybody looks like them. The police look like them. So that's that racism that we get here, where there's more white than Black police officers, and they're beating us upside the head and doing us, the way they do us so wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody understands why that happens. And then they blame us, the American blacks, for the stuff that happens to us, not understanding
Yeah. Systematic
that we
oppression.
actually we paved the way for a lot of the cultures.
Yeah.
We
I
we
want
got
to.
we took the L.
I want to read this real quick. Do you have to go, Yvette, or can you give us a few more minutes?
I got a few minutes. She told me to call her back. So
All right, so just a few minutes here. I want to read this because I think this is important. All right, so this is from nmahcsi.eu. So I think it's the National Museum of African American History and Culture. .si.edu. So they have an exhibit on the first Juneteenth. They actually go into a lot of detail. So here's what they have. On June 19th, 1865, nearly 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln emancipated enslaved Africans in America, Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas, with news of freedom. So that means that although the slaves were emancipated in 1863, Galveston, Texas didn't get the news until 2 years later. More than 250,000 African Americans embraced freedom by executive decree in what became known as Juneteenth or Freedom Day. That's great to know that it's also called Freedom Day, right? With the principles of self determination, citizenship, and democracy magnifying their hopes and dreams, those Texans held fast to the promise of true liberty for all. And I want to play this little clip. It's a discussion with Kelly Navies about Juneteenth.
I am Kelly Elaine Navies. I'm the museum specialist in oral history here at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And in that role, I coordinate the Oral History Initiative. Juneteenth refers to the date, June 19th, 1865, when General Granger rode into Galveston, Texas to give Order Number 3 to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation, which had been signed 2.5 years earlier. And at that time, those who were enslaved started to celebrate the holiday Juneteenth, which is a combination of June and 19 to represent that particular day. It is a celebration of freedom, family, and the joy of being alive and being able to live into the future, to look to the past, and that's what it means. Now, if you'd like to know more about Juneteenth, please visit namak.si.edu.
All right. So that's just a oral exposition there. Let's see. It says Gordon Granger, Union General, June 19, 1865. Here's what he said. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And a connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired laborer. All right, cool. And there's much, much more. We can talk about it here. But the first I ever heard of the holiday, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, might have been 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't know anything about it until I believe, man, who's the first person to implement Juneteenth? Would that be under Biden, right? That was under Biden.
Well, yeah,
He signed it. He made it official.
he signed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, he made it official in 2021.
Okay. I hadn't heard about it. Had y'all heard about it prior to that? Anybody?
Pretty
Yeah,
much
but I
it was.
really didn't know.
Yeah, I heard about it, of course, being from South Georgia and being a Georgia boy. I heard of it. It's just the issue of you have it. I put it in the same context of the oh God, I can't even say it. What's
Emancipation
the
Proclamation.
there you go, Emancipation Proclamation. Thank you, brother. My lips was heavy.
Mhm.
Came out 1863. It's the same thing. It's just that the people in Texas and the South, they were still holding slaves. It was just not
Mhm.
enforced. So since it wasn't
Right.
it wasn't enforced, they just kept doing what they were doing until they
Mm.
until they got caught. So just think about what happened. They had to bring force down to say, hey,
Yeah.
y'all
The
gotta let
military.
these slaves, the military, y'all gotta let these slaves go
So
because we
that's
did this 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So that speaks
Right.
to, but you know what, too, though, Corey, that speaks to that not all states wanted slavery to end, right? Well, the whole purpose of
We
the
know
Civil
that.
War, right? The whole purpose
Right.
of the
Well,
Civil
that's what I
War.
was going to say. Exactly.
Mm. Yeah, so
I
they
mean, if
didn't
We
you
want it
already
watch
to
knew that.
end.
Hamilton,
So
oh,
you had to have the military to come in. No, y'all go ahead because this is open discussion. But I just want to make the point that, like we are saying, the military had to come in and enforce the law because certain states didn't necessarily want to agree. So even though the proclamation said that both slave masters and slaves are equal in terms of the ability to own property and the ability to, buy and sell and all of that, and they said that the relationship now between a slave owner and a slave would be employer and laborer. Like, in other words, if they gonna keep doing the same job they was doing 2 years ago, you got to pay them. See what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, so even though that was
sharecroppers.
all said, right? Sharecroppers, even though all that stuff was said, you still had what we now know to become the Jim Crow laws and segregation that developed in
Right.
the
That's
Exactly.
where
South,
it
where
started.
they created
Yeah.
laws
Southern, yeah.
to keep blacks from being equal to their
Exactly.
former slave owners. You know what I'm saying?
So
Exactly.
think
So
Mm.
so think
go,
about
Corey.
what you
They
just
didn't want you
look,
reading, no
right.
reading,
Exactly, Vet. Think about what you just said, Dave. This is
no reading.
why I want you to watch the movie The Origin.
Okay.
Because everything you just said that happened in 1865, then
Hmm.
after that, basically Jim Crow started because you had all these black people down here. What they gonna do? Oh, now they free. Then what?
Right. Then
Well, it
They
what?
had to
wasn't
find money
convenient
because
for
they
these people to lose them.
no, it's not convenient. Yeah, they
Mhm.
were free, but they had no land to go to. They had nothing to work for. They just free. What, how
Hey,
you
you
gonna
know
give me
what,
freedom with
Michelle?
nothing?
Mhm.
Michelle makes a good point. Look, it wasn't convenient. Were you saying it
No,
wasn't convenient for the slave owners to lose the slaves?
right. Why would you
Okay.
want to? Why would you want to lose a free labor?
Why would you
Well,
want to lose
Right.
that's
free
what
labor?
Hamilton, right? That's
I
what
mean,
Hamilton
it's
was
yeah.
all about. If you watch Hamilton and understand, that's what again the Civil War was about.
Hmm.
Wall Street was like Wall Street is today. Those were the
Right.
big money brokers, the moving and shakers. Cargo at that time was the moving and the shaking. The
Hmm.
cargo for the South was the cotton and the
Was cotton.
tobacco
Hmm.
and
Yep.
so that was their product. But in order to get to that product, they needed bodies. And
Right.
what bodies to do it was the ones where, hey, this is where when you just put it all together, they came to Africa, and what did they show us? A little thing that go pop pop. What do we have
Guns.
a problem in America still to this day? Pop
Pop
pop.
pop.
So
Guns.
this is what
Gunpowder.
they did, and it is
Hmm.
still going today.
Yeah.
So
You know,
guns
it's
has always been the things that we pushed and perpetuated here in America.
and the key to slavery was free labor. Slavery
Right.
was free labor at the heart of it. It was free labor. Of course, it was human cruelty, and of course, it was racial oppression. It was all those things. But you're right, Michelle. For the
Mm.
white man, it was, hey man, you taking away free labor, dude.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
free
And
labor,
our wealth.
right, and our wealth. And
Yeah.
should I say this? I'm gonna say it because
Go ahead.
Our
Michelle.
wealth.
I mean, not Michelle. I'm gonna say it because Yvette said it. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
say
Yeah,
it.
please say it.
Then not only are you, because see, like they had guns that go pop pop, but apparently the slaves had penises that go pop pop, and that was a threat for some people. Let's be real. Penis envy was a real thing, and it was a threat because you had slave owners raping female slaves. You had slave owners' wives sneaking off and sleeping with male slaves. It was happening. And that's how you had the whole mulattoes and everything. And it was a big thing about not only are you going to try to be equal to me um, as a person and the ability to make a wage, now you're going to try to legally sleep with my women. Now you're going to try to have mulatto children and try to build a society that don't look like me. That was a threat to
Ugh.
That's a threat, man. That was a threat to white supremacy. Let's call it what it was. It was a threat.
And it's
Mhm.
still
But
a threat
then
today. An educated black man is very threatening because think about it. I mean, outside of
It was bad. Yeah.
the numb nuts that are shooting each other up on the corners for stuff they don't even own.
Right.
You looked at me wrong, and that stupidity that's going on that is breaking
Mm.
my heart. Just ripping families apart.
In
You
the
have the that's go ahead, Dave.
No, I'm saying in the black race, we got numb nuts in the
in
black race doing stupid,
right
killing each other
in
on
the
the
black
corner.
community.
Yep.
But now, so if the numbnuts are taking care of each other, the white man don't have anything to do at this point. But
Right.
now the ones that are like, okay, well, we got these other ones that's coming along. They're a little
Mhm.
bit smarter. They've learned in the stock market. That was our thing. Like,
Yeah.
why are you in the stocks and bonds and property? Because that was our way of making wealth. Why are you building a corporation? Because that was our way of keeping y'all away from us, because y'all didn't know how to do these things. We didn't share it with you. We didn't want you to know. But and then it just perpetuates to where we are today. And then when you do that backsliding stuff that we're going through now, I mean, I'm going to say it anyway. When you get into elections, some people don't want to vote because they believe it's already rigged. Is this way?
Right.
They already know who they're going to pick and things of that nature. But when you hear a slogan like "Let's make America great again," you got to ask
Mhm.
the question, for who? Like,
Yeah.
for who? Because for honestly, our greatness, our time of greatness was, I'm going to say, that late '60s to the 2000s. That was our greatness. Like, black communities were able to build growth at that time. There was
Yeah.
some that took place in the 1921s too, because when you had your
Yeah,
Madam
that's what I was
C.J.
about to say.
Walkers and
That's
your
what I was about
DeBose
to say.
and the Wall Street, the Black
Black
Wall,
Wall Street.
Black
Yeah,
Wall
Black
Street
Wall.
didn't in Spotwood, right here in Florida.
Yes,
When you didn't
Rosewood.
know about all these little, Rosewood, all these
Hmm.
little cities and places that did have really good communities of taking care of each other, even in our little town in Georgia. Same thing, certain places in Georgia,
Hmm.
people did pretty good, but you're not supposed to have all that. Like, how did y'all do without using us? How did you do that without coming through us?
Because
You
number
know?
one, when you start depending on ourselves, and we had the most talent, we're the most artistic, and the thing is, we have all of this. And I'm just thinking about how Juneteenth works, and this is the
Mhm.
problem I have with Juneteenth is you're gonna say, hey, this is your all holiday. Now you're saying, hey, it's a Black History Day. Man, this is American history. This is what America is.
Yeah.
This is what part of America is. And don't just as I've gotten older and learned to understand America in general and what it is, and then I'll understand what racism is. I do not want to be. I don't want. I don't. I'm getting tired of being separated because now I see the bigger picture. And the
Mm.
reason why I
Okay.
say that is this. Yes, I am a man of color, and I am from America.
Mhm.
But if I look at my history, it's certain things just don't add up. Number one, most black people are already here. Also, Michelle, most of your people are already here.
Yeah.
Yes, on this continent.
So
On this
that
continent.
on
Yes.
this on this
Hmm.
continent right
On this
here,
continent right
is
here. Exactly.
yeah. What happens is you get people from other countries, and they have what you just said, gunpowder, and things that we didn't have, and things we did invent and conquered what we already had. So then you say, hey, we're gonna we're gonna have create this land over here, and then conquer them, kill most of them, and start slaves over here. But guess what? We got to get some more because we're building over here, but we don't have enough. They're running away to where we only know where they are now. So
Mhm.
my thing is America in this form is a conquered country by Europeans. Period.
Hmm.
Period.
And
You're
we
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and this
Absolutely
is
Same
right.
with same in Mexico and all Latin America.
exactly
Everybody,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
exactly
There's none of the original people left other
none of the
than the
original
ones
people.
that the white people put in reservations, or the few that
Right,
are
E-
listed
exactly.
money.
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to bring that
And
up too. And
and
people
they
need.
Go ahead, Yvette.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna
Well,
say
wait.
black.
Well, hold on.
Black
I'm
people need
sorry,
to
Yvette.
okay.
I'm sorry, Yvette. Corey, did you finish your point? You were saying this is
Yes,
what you
what's your
hate
point?
about Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, right? Because
Mm.
Juneteenth, they're trying to say, "Hey, this is just Black history." No, man, don't separate it. Say what it is. It's American history. You said that Abraham Lincoln wrote this Emancipation Proclamation to free the slaves because of the Civil War. The Civil
Right.
War is American history.
Right.
You don't say
Well,
you don't
so
say
okay.
July 4th. Do you say July 4th? Is that English history that
No.
they lost?
No.
We got our independence, right?
We did.
Are you sure it's
So
we? Exactly.
Well. Okay. Now you make a great
Exactly.
point, sir. Because 1776 ain't the same as 1865.
Thank you. That's
It's
all I'm
120
saying.
No,
years.
no, it's
It's
not.
not the
110
same.
years.
It's
So
not
so
the
you're
same.
so okay. So hold on. So and I think you make a great point, and I want to I'm stirring the pot for a
Go
reason.
ahead, stir
Okay.
the pot, brother.
Think about this, y'all. America. Well, man, North America, right,
Yes.
and South America are the indigenous peoples and continents that were here before the Europeans came over and tried to settle it, right, and
Mhm.
call it America. So somebody got to help me out and look up the original name of the Americas because I know people have told me before, but I can't recall right now. Now,
Go ahead.
having
Yeah.
said that, we can look that up. But having said that, the United States of America is a hodgepodge of cultures. You
Yes.
got you got
A melting pot.
you got the English that came over, right? I know the Spanish had already come over, right?
Yeah.
And had mixed in with the natives and all of that sort of thing. It's a melting pot, right? But the issue is it's a melting pot that was started through war, secession, and slavery,
Yes.
right? You got people leaving Britain to come here. That's secession. That's leaving. That's and if I'm
But
not
why would they
mistaken,
leave in Britain?
criminals.
And
If I'm not mistaken,
they were broke.
broke. Okay, so you got all that happening. Then you got the African slave trade. Then you got the genocide of the Native Americans. Right, you got all that happening. Right, and now this big country is built. So where am I going with that? You know, Corey, when they say, "Hey, man, are you African American or are you American?"
Mhm.
Well, I am African American. The reason I have to say African American is because I don't know what country my ancestors were stolen from.
So
I
no, so
can't
you're not
call myself. Hold
so
on.
you're
So
not
so
go ahead.
hold on. Hold on.
I'm
So
sorry.
I can't say I'm Nigerian American. I can't say I'm Ethiopian American. I can't say I'm Guyanan. I can't say I'm Kenyan. I don't know unless I do a DNA test to go figure it out. But
Yes.
from the records, books, and the records they kept on paper and the census, we don't know where.
This
My
this
family is traced to a slave trader in South Carolina. That's as far as I know, and I can't guarantee what country my family is pulled from. However, some people may say, "Hey, man, I am I'm Irish American, and I know exactly where my family is from in Ireland. I'm Italian American. I know exactly where my family's from Italy. I'm German American." Some people can trace it back, and they know for sure. So
yeah.
here's my question to the whole panel: is it a problem for Black people to say I am African American, but it's not a problem for a German person to keep his heritage to say I'm German American? Is it a problem with the two, or are they equivalent? And everybody answer.
Everybody
I
should say
just
they African.
All Black people?
everybody.
Oh, you say
No,
all people?
all people.
Well, hell, if that's the case, you're right. We all from Pangea, which was the
Mm,
African continent. Everybody
Thank
did
you.
come from
Ding
right,
ding.
right,
Mhm.
Africa.
right,
If we
right.
because the planet was it
Yes.
was all one landmass.
Yes.
If we really going back to it.
Yeah.
And racism didn't start until probably Yvette knows. Racism didn't start till like this 1500s, 1600s.
That
We
yeah,
wasn't known
No,
as black, white, or
American racism, but
well,
but
the
but
American racism, but racism did
yeah.
exist
right.
throughout. See, here's what actually I'm going to say classism
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
there
Thank
we
you,
go.
Yvette.
was
There we go.
always
Classism,
Caste. Yeah,
classism
always.
caste. Yeah.
always
Yep.
been
Right.
throughout society on no matter what continent you were on. There was always
But
I mean, if
but
that was the
also
case, we
too,
wouldn't have royalties
but not just
and it
classism, the
Right.
aristocracy. You're right. Classism and
right.
aristocracy always existed. But also, too, Yvette, some people were discriminated because of either their religious group
Right.
or
I was gonna
belief,
say that's what it, well,
or
there,
because of
I
their
mean, if you think
racial makeup. But America,
right,
America, of course, is the biggest example of racial, like
they took
identifying
it to the
people's
10th
skin
power.
tone, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
But we can go back farther. I'm sure there's other examples.
Right.
I'm positive of
Yes, yes.
discrimination for the
Well,
color of your
but do you
skin.
know why though? But do you know why?
Tell me why.
Okay, because and it's still happening today. As long as we can stay divided, we can never come together to make things right. So we
Mm.
have to stay divided. I need to.
Exactly.
I need to. It needs to be somebody else's fault that I didn't get that job. It needs to be
Hmm.
somebody else's fault
But
that
hold on, y'all.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I could. But that's what it's all about. It always has been.
I understand hate, but I'm pushing back for this reason. Michelle, you're Mexican, right?
Yes.
All right, that's your heritage. Would it be safe to say you're Mexican American?
I was born in Mexico, and Mexico is part of the American continent, so
What,
maybe.
well, for you, I
I
didn't know you were
mean,
born.
semantics,
I
man.
didn't know you were born in Mexico. Okay, so you are actually Mexican, born in Mexico, another
Oh
country.
yeah. Yes,
All right,
100%.
all right. So here's what I would like to say, Yvette. All the Mexican culture, everything. I'm talking the food, the language, the romance, everything, the dance, everything, the
Mhm.
art. I'm talking it all. The just the beauty of Mexico. Wouldn't it be a damn
Right.
shame if everybody was like, yeah, I'm just, I'm American. Yeah, I know I'm from Mexico. Yeah, I know I have culture. Yeah, I know I have this. I know I have art. I know we have traditions. But guess what, y'all? We just gonna ignore all that because I want us all to come together. Now, I'm not talking about dividing each other by race. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, isn't it important to keep an identity with your culture? Because culture is what makes the world interesting. When people can
Well,
say I have different
absolutely.
cultures, I have different
Right.
because so I don't so Corey, I don't want to just say I'm American. Of course I'm American, but I would like to identify with my black culture because I think black culture is important and it brings something to the table, just like Mexican culture does. Real talk. So
Yeah, but
I
it
don't
was two
think we
different
should
things.
So
is weren't you
so
suggesting that we shouldn't have a Juneteenth and we shouldn't have a Black History Month? It's just American history.
exactly. I feel like how Morgan Freeman feels.
Uh,
Let me just say
he-
this.
I mean,
Well,
Why
how
but
there's
you
so many
cannot, you
But
cannot.
species of
The
but
bees?
problem
but
is
how
that
far does that go? How far does that go? Like how far do we eliminate culture? Like you know what I'm saying?
I didn't say
I
I
hear what
did.
Corey. I hear
Okay,
what
do
Corey's
you
saying. I'm going to agree with you,
yeah.
Corey, on that
Okay.
go ahead,
part. I'm
Vet?
going to agree with you because when the Floyd thing was happening and
George Floyd.
George Floyd, when George Floyd thing was happening, and everybody was like, okay, let's pull down these statues and all this here stuff like that. I was like, okay, why? It's part of the American history.
Hmm.
Grant was
Confederate general.
Confederate
For the
general. He
Confederacy.
was that. So that is part of the American history. We both need to learn about it. All of us,
Hmm.
not just
Hmm.
one. We all need to know.
Yeah.
And
It,
that's what it's
see what I'm saying?
convenient and easy.
Flag on
But
the plane,
no,
vet.
Mm.
no. Let me finish.
Land your
Because see,
plane.
while let me finish, let me land my plane, okay? Uh,
Land
and,
land
and I said
land your
that
penis.
because
Land your penis.
right, while everybody was complaining about pulling these things down, which it is part of the American history, it did happen. That's who they were, whether we were for them or not. They were. What we should have been fighting for instead of that was to remove the laws that are still on the books today that still keep us down here. That's what I rather our energy be placed on there and not to publicly come after the people that are seen to be trying to help our cause. You know what I'm saying? Because now you kind of because there was a few situations where we seen some of the judge people in Congress, white women in Congress, being accosted by
Attacked.
attacked, by a couple of black women on stage when they were coming to their cause. And it's like, no, you see, y'all, this is why they're saying no, we shouldn't even help them. See what y'all do? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they're misplacing
The
hate
energy.
and the anger and the energy and
Yeah,
the
and at the
rumors
same time, you
on
cannot
my behalf.
erase history, because then
Right.
you won't learn the lesson. And then they did the same thing when I was in El Paso. They changed. What was that Lee guy? That he was also a Confederate, Robert E. Lee or something.
Yeah,
They
Lee.
changed
Yeah.
Right. Robert E. Lee.
the name of the street. They made a big deal, and I just keep saying, like, how are we supposed to learn to be better if we didn't see the mistakes that we made before?
Yes, but
Right.
I got to throw the flag on the play, y'all.
Yeah.
Because
Okay. Let's
think about this, and I'm doing this on purpose. Can you imagine if Nazi Germany was allowed to keep their statues, their symbols up everywhere, even though the Nazi army was defeated, Hitler was defeated, and everybody knew that Hitler was trying to exterminate an entire race of people? Can you imagine if their symbols were allowed to be up across the country? Can you imagine? What that would do is it would make the people that were damn near exterminated, the Jews, it would make them feel oppressed, and it would make them feel like, yo, like this country is still supporting this madness, and it could still teach younger generations to pick up on the madness. So I even though I agree we should focus on removing Jim Crow laws and laws that oppress blacks in America, I do think it's important to remove symbols. I just do, because if another group can say, "Hey, I'm offended by these symbols, and I need y'all to take them down," whether it's Jews, whether it's homosexuals, or whether whomever it transgenders, whomever, then I say in America, the first person you need to think about is the Native American, and right after him is the Black American, in my personal opinion, because it, to me, America tried to resolve things with natives and tried to give them land and tried to give them laws. Black people really never got from America I'm sorry for what we did to you, and your feelings matter, and let's try to correct. Things have happened over the years. I agree, affirmative action, things have happened, but I'm talking about we had to wait until 1960 to be able to vote. You know what I'm saying? And then our leaders
So
got killed.
let me go ahead.
I
So let
know.
me
Then
just say this.
our leaders got killed and everything. So, I just
and women were right there with it. And so, but
right
see,
behind
but
us.
what you're saying is the reason why I hear what you're saying. I
Yeah.
hear it. I can understand your feeling, but that's what's already happening. This is why Black Wall Street is not known, because they're trying to erase the history,
Yeah.
because it doesn't coincide with what they want the world to know about.
Mhm.
And, all that stuff they've
Right.
done to us. It's a dirty little secret.
Yeah.
Let's
It's a dirty
stuff that
secret.
under the rug.
Yeah.
It's a dirty secret. Oh,
They don't
those
want to
were
know about it.
my forefathers. It had nothing to do with you today. It's not affecting you today. But yeah, it is affecting me
The
today.
laws are. Yeah.
The laws are affecting me today.
And
The trying to
you
put
know what?
me in the redlining, putting me in a certain community is affecting me today. And those are still laws that was written way back then. So come on, now you're still trying to, every time it's time to vote, you're constantly changing
Yeah.
the goalposts. You're changing the
Mm.
rules on what I need to bring to show that I am who I say I am, because I am.
Yeah.
Okay, like come on now.
So there's this, Corey. I see you. Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry, I interrupted you before. Go ahead, Corey.
Well,
I
the thing
apologize if
is,
I did so.
no, you good. It's like we've been saying, and I'll go back what you were saying about the symbols.
Yeah.
Imagine if you found out that Nazi Germany learned everything they did from United States. What would you say then?
Oh man, I'd be like, is the United States, is the United States like Nazi Germany? I'd start to look at the United States wrong.
Because
Like,
they
what's
exactly because they caused it. You have to think about it. If someone came from a different country and learned how to separate the blacks from the whites and keep the
mm-hmm.
blacks down, hey,
Yeah.
let's do this to Jews over here in Nazi in Germany. That's what
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah. No,
So
look,
they
I'm not
learned
agreeing.
from us.
Yeah.
In Africa.
Mm.
And
The
in
apartheid,
Africa.
Exactly,
what they
and in
did with the
Africa too.
apartheid, they did
Yeah.
that, and just not. I mean, we're talking about within the last 20 years. I mean, it's not even been that far. So when you say that if it's in your time, that means it's present. It's the, to me, it's present.
Exactly.
They were trying
And
to do the same thing in Dominican Republic, this small little island.
yeah,
They would do it, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to
Haiti.
discard people with
Mhm.
Haiti. Like if you were over here, you were born here and raised here. So everybody wants to blame, like I'm saying, blaming somebody else for why things
I
ain't
would
going
like
right.
to say too. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This just came to my mind. I don't want to forget you guys. You know what's interesting? There is Public Enemy made an album back in the 90s. You know what it's called? Fear of a Black Planet.
Fear the
Fear
Black
of a
Planet.
Black
Yeah.
Planet, right? And what's interesting is when we say black, and this is for Michelle, all of our brown compadres. When we say black, I also include brown because there is an issue in this world with darkness. You can go to almost any country, and there is colorism and discrimination amongst the same group of people with different shades. If you go to Dominican Republic, lighter Dominicans are considered better sometimes than darker Dominicans. If you go to Colombia, the more white appearing Colombians are considered different than the more Afro appearing. So there's an issue in this planet. And to me, that can be talked about on a whole nother global scale. Right. So I do have a problem with colorism and a problem with people having an issue with blackness. When we come to the United States, my big thing with the United States is, and like we just said, the slave trade in Africa and all of that, it all stems from wanting to oppress someone based on the color of their skin. And I feel like we should be allowed, Corey, to still maintain our culture the same way other religious groups do, other cultural groups do, other groups that speak other languages from other countries. We should be allowed to keep our culture the same way. Now, it may be harder for us to identify our culture, Corey, because we were all pulled from different places, right, and thrown in American slavery. And so it may be like, okay, like I said, what do we identify with? Do we identify from Ethiopia? Like Ethiopia is the only African country that has never been colonized. You hear me? No Arab and no white nation has ever colonized and conquered Ethiopia. They successfully fought everybody off. And Haiti is the first black country to ever win its independence from a white colonizing country, which was France.
Right.
This is why
So they
they
still owe
hate
France.
Haiti.
So they
Yeah, they
still
owe
owe
France
France
money.
and that's crazy.
But,
What?
but they won the war and they won their independence, but the treaty and whatever they had put them in financial ruin, and they owed
Right.
Haiti
Well,
will
they
owe.
got greedy as
Yeah,
always. That's the thing. I sat here and watched the whole thing with John Wycliffe explaining the whole thing, and guess who's got their fingers in that pot too?
the U.S.
Big old America. They
Yeah.
always got their fingers in somebody's pot.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to not be. It's hard to not be a bully when you're a bully, or it's hard to not be an oppressor when you're a bully. Okay. Now I'm gonna say
So
this: the United States does its thing in terms of bullying and oppressing and all of that. But I will say this, y'all. I will say this: I am glad I was born in America, and I'm glad I was born in this time frame because I personally wouldn't want to live in another country because of the way that the lifestyle that we lead here and everything related to being black in America. I think America is good when the system is worked properly. I think it's good, and it can be good for all. But like you said, Corey, you got some groups that don't want all to
exactly.
get all the benefits. They want their
But
crew to get the
Exactly.
benefits. You know.
but you got to think about it. America's all you know. That's all you know.
Yeah, I was just going to say because
And
I
I
go other
understand that
places and it they
it's different.
America is I
But
would
you
say they
but you haven't
brainwash
moved. But you
their
haven't
people.
moved. But you haven't moved yet. You've been places, but you ain't moved.
Who?
I'm saying you've been
I
places.
lived in Germany for 4 years. What are
Oh, I
you
was about to
saying?
say.
My oldest son was born there when I was 20 years old.
Come on,
I
Yvette.
didn't live on a
I
Talk
didn't know.
your
military
ish,
base.
Yvette.
Okay.
Talk your ish, Yvette.
Okay. I didn't know that, Yvette. Well, let me ask
Yeah,
this. Why didn't you stay?
I came back home, but I was hoping to retire there. That's why y'all think I'm joking when I keep saying I'm moving to Portugal.
Okay.
I'm 2016. I
Yvette,
was
get
going to
out
move to
my head.
Mexico.
That's where I want to go. I want to go to Portugal too.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been saying for the year, I'm preparing to get the blank on. This man wanted me to help him with his political thing. I'm like, don't pull me into these politics here because I'm over it.
Mm,
Y'all don't, and part of it is because of what he said. He's a black man, and I was getting ready to jump on board with him until I realized you do the same thing that everybody else do. You are a
mm,
black man saying you running for office. You ask for help. Give the help. You said, oh, you will be the first one paid, and the first thing you do when you get on is kick me in the head. Like you're doing the
yeah.
same thing. And then when I asked you why you were running, because see, a person that is really running for the people, they would say something like, oh, I really want to make change in my community. He said for power. I'm like,
Well,
wow, really?
he
I
told
said,
you
now
what
what
he
are you
was
gonna
all
do with
about.
that power? I said,
Right.
what are you gonna do with that power? Then I'm like, I like to go sit on the beach and I people watch. I just go sit down, I have my little drink, and I chill and I people watch. He goes, oh, I would never do that. Well, why not? I'm like, you're in an area where we are a melting pot here. We have different cultures and nationalities that come from all over just to be in this little area where I live near the beach. So if I'm over here in this little area near the beach and you're running for office, and you're going to help people, don't you think you need to sit and watch and see the people and talk to some of the people that's in your area so you even understand what their plight is? What issues are you going to run on if you don't even know? Oh, the street lights? That's it? Just the street light? Oh, because I did it. What? What are you running on? People want
Yeah,
to
you
hear
got to
what you're
know the
running
people.
on today, and we have gotten away from hearing what the everyday person really needs to see in this world. Not the propaganda where I'm going to repeat the same stupid stuff and call names, because see that was a pit that was a page out of Hitler's book
Mm,
that people
mm,
don't pay attention
Dave, let
to
me
anymore.
ask you a question. Let me ask
mhm,
you a question, Dave. Imagine, okay, I'm 52, 51. I'll be 52 in July. Imagine my birth certificate says Negro. My
mhm,
mom's birth certificate says black.
mhm.
But my son's birth certificate says African American.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like I just told you three different
Classification.
Classification.
classifications.
Mhm,
Okay, just imagine if our birth certificate just said a Native American. Okay,
mhm.
I just want you to think about this. Imagine they said that in 1972 when I was born. Do you know the dynamics of the Americas would change? Because as a Native American, the things that you get culturally, because we are Native Americans, just because in history, the Native Americans and the Negro, we were together, but they split us because I was darker than maybe my cousin who was born 30 years earlier, whatever. It
Mhm.
was just like my grandmother. If you saw a picture of my grandmother, you're like, oh wow, our history was Creek. That's part that I don't know, but I just know from the history of my family telling me. But my lineage ends with my great great grandfather in Georgia somewhere. That's why I
Right.
just say I'm a Native American, because everything stops.
Right there in Georgia.
You can't. It just stops. So I was born in Georgia. My family was born in Georgia. Guess what? I'm a Native American. Because you can't tell me I came from a boat.
Mm,
You can't tell me that.
okay. So you're
You can't
saying
tell.
so you're saying that some black people in America, if not all, might be able to claim native rights.
Exactly.
As we should.
Because
Yeah,
as
exactly.
we should. They
So
if
let me
you
say
look at
this.
go
So
ahead.
hold on. Let me say this. So America tries to fix what it did, the entire genocide of the Native Americans and all the tribes. And America tries to fix it and does all these, I'll say, reparations. They do all these things to try to help. Don't you think the should receive some sort of also repair?
The who?
Don't I mean because look, Nazi
Of
Germany had to
course.
play had to pay the Jews. So
Of course.
and if I'm not mistaken, America had to do something to Japan for bombing them. We had to help. We had to do something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why
but we
can't
ain't got nothing.
the enslaved Africans get some sort of
Well,
government sanctioned
That's my
repair?
point.
Yeah, we
what they
should.
Because
Something.
this
what
is
they
why I
do is
don't like Juneteenth.
yeah,
Okay, because you're saying
they
it's just
do-
pacifying. It's just
Is that yeah? You just say, hey, let's give them this. What?
yeah. Well, but yes, Corey. Yeah, that's not enough. But because look, if we didn't have civil rights in the '60s, we wouldn't be able to vote. So I'm saying the movement of the needle is small, but you got to continue to press the needle forward. That's what I
right.
believe.
You gotta
And
count the
although
you gotta
And
count
Juneteenth
the
is
blessings.
small, yeah, you got to keep pressing forward.
Count the blessings.
but here's my thing: we don't have enough of us saying it and talking about it and fighting for.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
give us our
And
land.
that and
Give us
that's
the.
and that's our
That's
that's
our
our
fault.
fault as a generation because if we're too busy if we're too busy saying, well, hey, I got a good job, I'm cool, or I can go work in basketball, or I can go work in music, or I can go do this. If we're always looking at ourselves, we're never going to move the whole race and community and
But
culture
it's
forward.
also by design too. It's also by design. That's why I was saying about our history. If we're not taught our history, how do we know? Because it's not being told. I mean, half of us didn't know. A lot of people didn't even know who Madam CJ Walker was, and then they don't even know. And I always forget her name because I almost did a script on her and all of her people that they almost had like a Sally's Beauty Supply type of thing that they all did.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like it took that whole model. A lot of people don't realize that. Nobody knew how to take care of black women hair. Her hair, when she was married at 14, her hair's falling out. She felt like she was ugly. She had to create something to grow her hair back and to make it manageable. But then there was another woman, I forget her name. I got it all written down in my book because I haven't looked at it in a while. But she was the one who actually came up with the hot comb. But Madam CJ kind of came up with something like Mun say hair crack that straightened the hair, processed the hair, and made it straighter. And then she had to show people how to use it. So she had to go to all these different cities and set up shop, to train people how to do her stuff. And then they would be their own business. So basically creating entrepreneurs as she come along the way. That's
Hmm.
how black women were able to get beauty shops and salons.
Dave,
Mm.
you're an actor. You have been in LA for a while, and you love music as well. And this is why I think about history and how we are. I can't think of the new, but the Oscar was named after a black filmmaker. Uh, the music that we make, I tell people all the time, is the distribution is the key of how we make money. Um, if you look at all of the, well, I'm not saying they're obsolete now, but all the record labels that were started because
Hmm.
they had the patent of making the record. So when you have the patent of making the record and the sound, you also know how to distribute it as well. All we knew was how to make the music. So we made the music, and this is how things like just think about it. Coming from slavery, we're trying to create. We had the
Mhm.
blues and the music, but we didn't know how to put it out.
Yeah.
We control nothing.
Right.
Right. Right.
So
Nothing.
when you don't
Well,
control anything, and you
Corey, this is
supposed to go ahead, Dave.
this I'm sorry, this is a good segue to this. All right. I want to close this out because we're
Yeah,
running up on our time. We probably got another 20 minutes.
Am I
Um
frozen?
yeah, the
yeah.
Wi-Fi is funny. Am I can you hear me, Corey and
I
Michelle?
can see it.
Yeah.
Your lips are moving and everything, brother.
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
we can
cool.
hear Yvette, but we cannot see Yvette.
Yeah, yeah. You Yvette, you don't
Yeah,
There we
stand.
because
go.
I
There you
hear.
go. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So after Juneteenth, part of this website that we were looking at before, NMAAHC, .si.edu. It says a freedom deferred. With the end of slavery, searching for family members who had been separated or sold away became the focus of many formerly enslaved individuals. The number of years of separation did not deter people from hoping to reunite with lost loved ones. Newspaper advertisements, letters, and word of mouth were all employed as part of the search. The hope was that a positive response might lead to a reunion. So, first thing, we had broken families, right? And you probably had people that couldn't really speak much English or had broken English. It says for the nearly 4 million newly freed, education was a crucial first step to becoming self-sufficient. Because think about it, like you said, Corey, we're free, but we don't have the skill set. Going back to what you said about the recording industry, even up to today, we were able to sing and dance, but we didn't have the infrastructure to own the recording label. No one taught us about publishing. No one taught. So these are things that record companies and film studios were doing before we fully understood how the whole business worked. And then you get people that come along like Barry Gordy and Motown. Then
Right.
you have who was the other records? Who did Sarah Vaughan and them sing on? And who did Beyonce play? What was the name of that record company?
Oh,
Capital Records.
Cadillac
Cadillac,
Records.
Cadillac,
Yeah,
yeah,
Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Right. And then you get into other record
Then you had
companies and
Wax,
stuff. And then you
Stax
They had
Wax,
Motown. They
Stax.
had
Stacks. You got Motown.
Yeah.
Of course, we get into, Bad Boy, and we get into Cash Money, and we get into all stuff like that. But before all of those people, you had to have trailblazers that would do it. And these are people that didn't know how. So we're starting from the very, very basics of let's just get educated. We need the newly
Exactly.
freed blacks that were enslaved to get educated. And it says education was the first step. Between 1861 and 1900, more than 90 institutions of higher education were founded for African Americans. Okay.
HBCUs. HBCUs.
HBCUs. All right. Let's see, it keeps going. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so they're just getting into more information about Juneteenth. Okay, it says yes, taste food and all that. Yeah, we can get into food. That was important. Sounds of freedom. That was important too. Music. Juneteenth today. In 2021, Juneteenth was established as a federal holiday, opening it to symbolic and global interpretation and providing a better understanding of the evolution of our nation and its people. Juneteenth celebrates then, like now, recognizing the ongoing fight for human rights and equality, and are commemorated through family cookouts, faith services, musical performances, and storytelling. Today, Juneteenth celebrates African American resilience and achievement while aiding in the preservation of historical narratives that promote racial and personal advancement since Freedom Day. So let's stop there and first of all, let's give a applause for Freedom Day. I like the term Freedom Day. I mean, Juneteenth, I get it. It was a way of bringing in June 19th and making it a week long celebration. Juneteenth, I get it. And when I was at work the other day, a young lady at the job, and I'll be honest, Corey, I'm not sure if she has any African American in her or not. I really don't know, and I can't tell. She may or may not identify. I don't know. But what she did was she said, "Hey, y'all, don't forget Juneteenth is Wednesday and let's celebrate and remember." So I took that opportunity upon myself to go to this very website, copy it, send it out to the whole group and say, "Look, you want to know the history of Juneteenth? Please read about it." Because if we don't educate ourselves about the past, we won't know where we're going in the future. We have to remember things. We have to remember the good to say let's repeat. We have to remember the bad to say let's not repeat. You know what I mean? And I think that having these sort of discussions and Michelle, I'm glad you're here because I think these sort of discussions are good to not just have amongst Black people. We need people of other cultures to look up information, talk about it. Hey, what does this mean to you? And Corey, we do
Yeah.
need people that are like, hey, this is American history, not just Black history. You know what I mean? That's big because American history includes all Americans, especially the ones that helped form America and help build it.
Exactly.
And the free labor of enslaved blacks from Africa was a huge part of building this country.
It's
And
like
Mm.
it's like I hate to say it, if I'm gonna say it,
say
when
it.
they separate our history, it's
Mhm,
like you're not part of America. It's like
mhm,
y'all just over there. It's y'all history.
mhm.
That's what it is.
Oh, I see
No,
what you're saying.
no.
Like Black history and
Right,
American
right.
history.
And
Yeah, it's like
Corey, and
that's not. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Yvette.
Yvette. Mhm.
no, I just wanted you to finish your thought because I'm saying, there's still like today. This You guys were off work today. You were off.
And so,
Yeah,
yes, we were all off,
Yes,
but you
I
yeah.
was
weren't.
out.
Okay, and I was not. And then me and one of the other girls was like, we weren't gonna come in today. But they got it where we can't even afford to take off, even if we wanted to. It's like you kind of need to go in because you need the money to survive because they done raised everything so high. So it's
Right.
different when it's like, okay, we're off and you're going to be paid for being off. It's another paid holiday,
Hmm.
and some companies honor that and some don't. And Martin Luther King Day is only in certain states. A lot of the Midwest states don't even recognize Martin Luther King Day. So it's like this national holiday
Mm-mm.
is supposed to
No,
be
they don't.
implemented in
And
all
that's a
51
travesty.
states. Yeah.
Listen to me. MLK Day, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day needs to be celebrated. It is a national holiday. Banks are,
Yeah.
listen, if the bank is closed, I should sit my ass
Post
down.
office.
If the
Exactly.
federal government and the post office is closed, then we should all be able to sit our asses down and remember, even if our social group, our racial group, maybe our ancestors didn't support that holiday. Even if they didn't support it, as Americans, if the president has in his mind to say, we're going to make this a federal holiday, then everybody should sit down on that day and damn think. Have a drink and reflect. I don't care
But
if you like it, if you don't, at
but
least think
guess
about it.
but guess what?
I
But
remember
guess
this
what?
day, y'all.
If you order
Hmm?
something from Amazon, you're gonna get that delivery on that Monday.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it's
Still.
a federal holiday.
No, you're gonna
No,
get
they gotta work.
no, he's saying because they didn't shut down. But they
Oh,
didn't shut
really?
down. Yeah,
Ah,
if Amazon ain't shutting down and you order something and you got Amazon Prime, you still getting your package. So somebody's still working.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's
Hospitals
still
don't get
working.
to shut down. TV don't get. I mean, I would. You was in TV. I was in TV. I
mhm.
mean, holidays. I'm at the station.
Walmart's still open.
Um, set. The news don't
Kroger.
ever go off, and your programs don't go off, and holiday seasons. Those
Yep.
football games, because I was mostly in sports. Those
Yep.
games. My kids didn't even have me for Christmas. I would be at the stadium. 4th of July.
Mm.
I'm at the stadium. They didn't even have my mom because I was putting on the broadcast.
Let me read this real quick before we close the episode out. I think we have 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
Juneteenth is a federal holiday now, but what does that mean for many workers? That varies widely. All right, stock markets open, post office open, federal courts, schools, banks, businesses. It depends. Juneteenth, the holiday commemorating the end of slavery by marking the day enslaved people in Texas learned they were free, is now a federal holiday. The move comes after growing support nationwide for observing the day of celebration and reflection, which is what I just said. At least sit down and reflect. But actual practices for marking the holiday still vary widely. Some government agencies remain open, citing short notice. Now, this was back in 2021, because I want to make a note today that the stock market is closed today, 3 years later. So some
Mm.
some some agencies have adopted it.
Progress.
Yeah, they made progress. All right, it says it was short notice. They were scrambling and at courts and government agencies to observe the holiday. They typically observe federal holidays, but this time there was a variety of outcomes. All right, so many non-essential government offices did not shut down back in 2021. Businesses and nonprofits aren't required to close, and some had to swiftly decide whether to pivot or not. Others were planning to observe Juneteenth. It says that a Mercer survey released on June 3rd found that 9% of surveyed companies plan to observe in 2021, the same percentage as plan to observe Columbus, Indigenous Peoples Day, and a long list of other federal holidays. All right, so they're talking about some businesses. Okay, they're just discussing the disparity, but
Right. And
Mm.
some lumped it together.
and some lumped it together. So in conclusion, y'all, um, we talked about Father's Day and we talked about Juneteenth. two different days of observation. I think, and I'll just say this, and then I'll let y'all give your piece. I think it's important for all of us to recognize that the holiday was made a federal holiday for a reason. It's important to a group of people out there, and it is American history. And I appreciate everybody on this panel for taking time out to give us 2 hours worth of discussion about it, because you didn't have to. Especially Yvette, you just got off work. You could have been like, Dave, I ain't got time for this.
She wants to go to
I actually came
bed.
in with my eye swollen. I don't even know if y'all can see it. I was told to come home with
Oh
chamomile
wow,
tea bags on my eye. I don't know.
it
Something
is.
got me
Wow.
right here. So
You
I
know,
was
you know
like,
what
let me
got you.
just
You
lay
know
down.
what. You know what got you. You gonna make me say it?
You know,
Come on, the one-eyed monster.
One eye,
no.
the Cyclops.
She got poked.
All right.
I was at work, you people.
No, he's giving you a
That's what
hard
she
time.
said.
Right, that's what she
Oh my
said.
God.
Hey, Corey, you got to go. Or can you sign out? Can you come back on? Oh, you was there and then he was gone. Okay, there you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
We're gonna close out. Give us your last thoughts on Father's Day and Juneteenth. Let's go in reverse order. Let's start with Yvette and keep it to like 30 seconds because we only got 7 minutes. Last thoughts on Juneteenth and on Father's Day, Yvette.
I think that they're both needed. I mean, we need to appreciate and celebrate the papas that do show up and do their thing because they don't get the credit. You're not just a paycheck. You are so much more when you spend that time, and that's what they need to understand, that that quality time is the thing that your child remember. I didn't have a father. My father died when I was 6, so Father's Day was always very tough for me growing up. Now, and the fact that Juneteenth, same thing. It's recognized. Thank goodness it is here. We need to build on it and spread it out, spread the news, and understand it and respect it. And like you said, reflect, understand where we came from and why it was important. But I mean, the good thing is news travel fast now, good and
Yeah.
bad. So hopefully the Pony Express won't be delivering that type of news no more.
Right. Right. Michelle, last thoughts on Father's Day and Juneteenth.
I agree with Yvette. I mean, if you want to celebrate it, if you want to do anything for your dads, and go for it. Same with the moms, and anything you want to celebrate, that's cool with me. With the Juneteenth thing, I'm still learning. I mean, coming from also a background with Mexican, I think that we shouldn't lose our culture, lose our heritage. We should celebrate it, with our own little group of people if we want to show it to the world and everything. But at the same time, I think that there's so much work to do in order to move forward in this country, because I don't think we have gotten out of it. Even though we pretend to, it's capitalism, it's so many things that are going on that is so screwed up that we need to be better and show people that it's not about skin color, it's about if you're a shitty human being or not.
Yeah. Okay. Corey, last thoughts on Father's Day and Juneteenth.
Father's Day is real easy. Appreciation and help a brother out.
Help a brother out.
And the steak. Don't forget the steak.
T-shirt coming near you.
That's
Oh,
right.
and a steak.
And give him a steak.
And a steak it'll be steak. I'm sorry. Juneteenth. My thoughts on Juneteenth is this. I don't want to just be a regular holiday. I appreciate Juneteenth. It's important to understand that it's Freedom Day, but also to learn and progress from it. But do the work, and I'm talking about the politicians. I feel like do right by the Native Black Americans. Do right by us. If you know that someone really started in this country in 1865 with nothing and been here 400 years before that and still had nothing, and then you look at it as 2024 and you see where we are now, we have improved a little bit, but by our own. You still owe us land, things that are owed to us. And I know some people's like, no, you shouldn't get anything, or you don't deserve it. Man, we deserve everything. You have
Yeah.
Mississippi, which is a huge place. Land is ours. Let us
Yeah.
grow states that needs to be growing and give us land. give us things that we can, just imagine, Dave, you can have your whole family on 500 acres of land.
That'd
And
be
be like, hey, my
incredible.
whole family stays here.
That'd be incredible.
Exactly. And you see how your eyes just lit up?
I did. Now look, we got 3 minutes. So Corey, I'm gonna close it out here. If America gives us reparations, then we as a people, Native American, Black Native American, whatever we want to call ourselves, we got to learn to work together. That's it. And I'm gonna leave it. And I'm gonna leave it there because look, they give us money, and if we don't do right with it, we're gonna be right back where we are. All right.
Yep.
So look, y'all. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate y'all, man. This is episode 261, Father's Day and Juneteenth of After Dark, man. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Good night, everyone.
Peace out, y'all.